Hello, you guys. This is the first episode of Kenya Has Thoughts in this series on my As Told by Kenya channel. Basically, I am going to be giving you guys just some thoughts that have been running through my head. Over my Patreon, I do Kenya Has Thoughts, but I give kind of personal thoughts, like things that have really been bothering me. But on this, I'm going to, bring the hot topics, the things that everyone else is talking about. Now, this video is going to have a little bit of a vibe shift because I've actually already filmed this specific section of the video, but I was playing it back and I don't feel like my point really got across, so I'm going to give it a take two to see if I can get my point across better on this section. So after this section that I'm going to talk about, it's going to flip to the original footage that I recorded for Kenya Has Thoughts. But you know what? It's Kenya Has Thoughts. It's a little ghetto until it gets a little bit better. So you know what? I just wanted to get my thoughts across as well as possible. So let's get into it. We are talking about the Colleen Ballinger and Miranda Singh, all the controversy that is going on with that. So what I wanted to say, and I hope I can get out better this time, is I wanted to talk about the toxicity of fandom. I think from all the Miranda Singh stuff, what I've really taken away from it is how toxic fandom can be. I am someone who has always been a part of fandom. And whenever people talk about stans and stan culture, I always feel like the people who are talking about it most are the people who have never really been a part of it, like been on Tumblr, been on Twitter, been, around standom and how standom works. And I always would talk about with people how sometimes you can join a fandom and you join it with the best of intentions. You're like, I just want to talk about stuff that I like with people who also like it. But then once you get into the fandom, you start to see the ways in which people have gone to extreme lengths to show their love for this thing or this person. And so in order for you to feel down, you feel like you also have to go to these extreme lengths. I feel like everyone is trying to prove themselves as the biggest fan. I'm the biggest fan. And I think you almost get indoctrinated. You always wonder how you get to the place where people are, doing terrible things to other people in the name of being a fan of someone. But I think it is, you go in, you want to, talk about something that you love, and then before you know it, you feel like you got to do everything to be down, and you start doing things that are absolutely insane. But what I want to talk about is how I think people who are in fandoms can also be vulnerable to the exact same stuff that they perpetuate. So I think people in fandoms are also vulnerable to bullying, also vulnerable to power imbalances. And the biggest thing I've learned with the Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Singh is how you are vulnerable to the power imbalance of the thing that you are a stan of. I do not believe Miranda Singh's Colleen Ballinger is the only person who is famous and known, who is an influencer, who is a celebrity, who has been in the DMs of their fans. I think that is more common than you would believe. I think a lot of people who are in powerful situations, or who is the thing that people are standing, go into the comments, the DMs of the people who who are fans of them. And you do certain things to get noticed by them. And I think you act in certain ways so that the person you are standing will, know you, have you, so you can feel like you're a part of them. And so when the person you are standing is telling you to, say crazy things to people, say crazy things about people, when they're egging you on, when you're getting validation from your chaos, the chaos and the bullying and the talking about people and the exposing people and the doxing, when you're getting validation from the person you are standing to do this, when does it stop being about choice? Especially because we know a lot of people in these standoms are children, are youth. The youth are the main ones doing the standing. And so when you have someone who you look up to, who you think is just amazing, like they parted the seas, and they're coming in your DMs being like, I see your love, I see your support, what stops you from continuing to do it? If anything, you'll go even further. You'll do anything for this person. And I feel like no one talks about that. No one talks about there's a power imbalance there where it shouldn't be happening. I may go as far as to say, keep it on the playground. Like, you can, of course, always tell your fans, like, I see you, I appreciate you. But when these relationships that are usually parasocial turn into something a lot deeper, where now you think you are friends with the person you are standing, I think that can be very dangerous. And a lot of people don't discuss that. A lot of people don't discuss how a lot of the reasons why these stands that we see do outrageous things, why they continue to do it, is because their fave, whether it be, their fave artist or their fave influencer or whoever, is putting the battery in their back. They're putting the battery in their back. They're keeping it going. They notice that they will get followed or people will like them if they do that. And I think it puts the stand in a vulnerable position. And it's not until they get older do they realize, whoa, this was kind of weird. Another way that I think fandom is also toxic, and I think it puts the people who are fans in a vulnerable situation. A lot of stuff coming out about this Colleen Ballinger and Miranda Sings is you're seeing a lot of her fans or people who were fans of her saying that I wanted to say something. I knew I was uncomfortable with certain things I was being told to do, certain things I was participating in, certain things I was saying, but I never thought it was a safe space to say anything. Or when I did say something, I was, tomato, tomato, tomato. People started throwing stuff at me because I was speaking against the person who we all were standing. And that is another way where I think stans are vulnerable. When your fave is in your DMs and you start to build this real relationship with them, you will do anything to defend them. Have you ever had an artist who does something terrible and they still have fans defending them, and you're wondering to yourself, why are you defending this person? It's obvious what they did is terrible. But I think a lot of people, it's indoctrination. You're in a cult. It's not that you're defending the action. You're feeling like you're defending the person. They think they know this person. They defend it to the bitter end, not realizing like you're brainwashed. You have been brainwashed. So imagine already having that level of stand-up, and then the person talks to you. The person DMs you. The person follows you. The person is cheering you on. Of course they're going to defend the mess. They're going to defend the mess because they're so deep in it. They think they know that person, and it's not until they're on the other side that they see like, whoa, I should not have had this relationship with this person. I should not have been, almost told to do the things that I am doing. The things that I'm doing is not okay. And I think that bullying technique that is used on other people who say something against your fave ends up getting used on you. So then when you want to speak out against the behavior you're witnessing, or you want to speak out against your fave and be like, hey, you guys, I don't think this is a good thing. I don't think we should be cheering this on. What do you get? You get that same evilness spewed back on you. So my point in all of this is I think people underestimate how much artists, creatives, influencers, etc. use stands to push their own agendas, to do their own bidding. Yes, I think a lot of people with vicious stan bases and vicious, fandoms, they are perfectly okay with having that. They enjoy having that because it's a level of protection for them. They can get those fans to do their bidding. So they know if they do something terrible, they're always going to have their fans on the front line defending them. And they constantly are bigging up these fans and saying, I love you no matter what, all this. And it's getting in their head. It's getting in their head like, oh, mama loves this, mama loves this, mama loves this. So I continue to do this. Because when you get to the Colleen Ballinger and Miranda Sings thing, a lot of people were saying they didn't feel like they could say anything because no one else was doing it. And so you get everyone clapping and no one's questioning like, is everybody okay here? Is everyone in the fandom okay here? And so I know we laugh at stans because it's absolutely crazy for you to have this relationship with someone you've never met and for you to do these crazy things that you shouldn't be doing. But I think at the root of standom is people wanting community. At the root of standom is people wanting community. And when you are in search of community, you become vulnerable. You become vulnerable and you're willing to do anything. And I think a lot of creatives and a lot of artists and a lot of influence, etc., they prey on that vulnerability. They prey on you wanting to be involved in something, you wanting to feel bigger than yourself, especially if you're young. And so you don't speak out about certain things. You will do the bidding for them. You will do, the stuff that they're not comfortable doing on the forefront. And it's not until after the fact that you're like, whoa, why was this person in my DMs? Why was I doing all of this? And I think if we take off the mask, we'll see a lot of these people who we think are famous, who have better things to do, who are rich and successful and shouldn't be worried about stan bullshit, are the ones in the DMs, of these stans, egging them on, telling them to do them, congratulating them. And so a lot of times y'all think these relationships are parasocial, and they are, but also a lot of these people think these people are their friends because they're in their DMs being friends with them. So that's the big thing I took away from this Miranda singing and Colleen Ballinger is it's really showing how toxic fandom can be, and how a lot of times when we talk about how toxic fandom is, people always talk about the fans, but people never talk about the person who's the star, the person everyone is standing, and how they 100% play into the toxicity, how they root on the toxicity, how they are very happy that their fans are bullies, because then it can protect them from, accountability. So when someone says anything negative about them, they're going to attack them. It saves them. And I think it's on both sides, right? On both sides, we can talk about that. We can talk about how these stans are crazy, and also how, because stans are crazy, when you are a stan and you want to speak out against something, you can't. You don't have the platform to do it. I want to say I wish nothing but healing to everyone involved in the Miranda Singh and Colleen Ballinger thing, because that is absolutely, I can't believe, this, it's real. Because it's just I was never a Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Singh fan, and so it doesn't affect me in the way I think if I was really deep in it. But that's what this has really opened my eyes to, because I've always thought this. There are so many people who I've followed who said they've talked to their faves were in their DMs, and I'm just something about that isn't okay. Something about, because they see you as a fan, but you're seeing this person as a friend. So if this person tells you to jump, you're going to say how high. And so where does that leave you? It leaves you vulnerable. Those are my thoughts on that. Anyways, let's move into the next topic. The next thing I want to discuss is Tory Lanez, Meg Thee Stallion. I believe they pushed back Tory Lanez sentencing. I don't even care. The reason why I want to bring this up is you don't get to decide how Meg Thee Stallion should feel about what happened with her and Tory Lanez. I'm hearing a lot of people be like, oh, Meg Thee Stallion should be ashamed of herself, when they're throwing out the amount of time that Tory Lanez might go to jail and all that stuff. A lot of people are like, Meg Thee Stallion should be ashamed of herself. I can't believe it is not that serious. This man does not deserve It's just this didn't happen to you. This didn't happen to you. Meg Thee Stallion could come out tomorrow and be like, I don't want that boy to spend no days in jail. And guess what? That'll just have to be something I sit with and accept. I don't get to tell Meg Thee Stallion how to feel. And another thing I want to discuss is how I feel there's some revisionist history going on. I feel people believe the incident happened. Meg Thee Stallion tells us what happened to her. And then the court proceedings happen on and on. In the very beginning, Meg Thee Stallion did a lot of protecting of Tory Lanez. Protecting I would not have done. And so for people to now, when so much vitriol and hatred was thrown her way because of that boy, for people to say what Meg Thee Stallion then should do to protect said boy is really disgusting. And you really have to have a conversation with yourself on why misogyny has done such a job on you. That even in light of the fact that Meg Thee Stallion is the one who's harmed here, you still are worried about the harmer. Ask yourself that question. Why you, 1 minute you're calling her a liar. The next minute you're saying, you're telling her how she should feel about lying. And then you're just saying that she's the reason why he could do jail time. It's none of those things are true. Meg Thee Stallion didn't press charges against that boy. She just did it. And even if she did, that is her prerogative. You deciding how Meg Thee Stallion should feel is 100% you feeling this way because you don't believe black women deserve any type of protection. I think a lot of people need to sit with how they view black women who have been harmed. I think a lot of people believe black women who are harmed just need to sit back and take it. They need to just allow it. It's a lot of protecting. You need to protect others. Protect others. And no one's asking, are you protected? Because how does the story become 1 minute Meg Thee Stallion's a big fat liar, and now everyone has gotten off the Meg Thee Stallion's a liar train because y'all were believing the foolishness that was coming out of that boy's camp, to now she needs to go protect him. She needs to make sure he don't do time. You see how crazy you sound? You see how crazy you sound? When what we really need to be doing is uplifting Meg Thee Stallion. Go listen to Traumazine. Go flood Meg Thee Stallion with all the love that she deserves. And I just don't want her name tied to that boy no more. I just don't. I want this to be over for Meg's sanity. That is honestly what I would like to happen. Let's move on. Taylor Swift broke up with that boy. At this point, anyone who I don't respect is gonna be called that boy. Taylor Swift broke up with that boy, and thank God. I don't know what that was. I feel like at the end of the year in December, we're going to look back and be like, whoa, was that a fever dream? Talk about a terrible internet footprint. Talk about it was just outlandish. It was just crazy. I didn't see what Taylor Swift gained in all of this. I'm just happy that it's over. And I never have to hear about the 1975 Maddie Healy. I don't know. I'm just so happy I don't have to hear about any of that again. It just felt like I was dipping my toe in the Insel Lake. I'm just like, I'm used to something a little bit classier over here. Another thing is, I also wasn't as invested as other people. This goes into Kenya having thoughts. Do you guys have celebrities or musicians and stuff or actors and actresses who you don't really consume them outside of their art? Taylor Swift is that for me. I like Taylor Swift music. I am proud to say I like Taylor Swift music. But I don't really interact with Taylor Swift outside of a music perspective. I am not someone who goes really deep into Taylor Swift's personal life, the Taylor Swift personal life theories. You want to know something so crazy? I didn't even realize she was in a relationship with Joe for so long. I think when Folklore came out, that's when I realized she was in such a long relationship, that she'd been in a relationship for a long time. I just don't interact with her. I'm very surface level with Taylor Swift when it comes to what I enjoy. I enjoy her music. I listen to her music. That's pretty much what I get from her. Now, I do have celebrities in other ways where I want to know everything, but Taylor Swift is not that for me. So it was hard to constantly be the first time I'm hearing about Taylor Swift's relationship is about this boy, and I was just please don't let this continue into Speak Now TV. I was just I don't want to think about that. I just do not want to think about it. We had Insel. It was giving Insel down, and I didn't want nothing to do with it anymore. Some other things that happened that Kenya has thoughts on. The Tonys happen. Alex from the Glee Project. Did you guys watch the Glee Project the way I used to watch the Glee Project? I stand firm on this. I'm never going back and rewatched it, but the first season of the Glee Project is amazing reality TV. Were you there? The first season of the Glee Project was amazing reality TV. All the kids were so talented, and I believe this is the second Glee Project person to win a Tony. So claps all around for Alex. She is absolutely amazing, and I am so damn proud. Top Dog Underdog won Best Revival. So if you guys do not know, I am a Top Dog Underdog stan. I went to go see Top Dog Underdog the day before Christmas, it only stayed open for a few months. It's a play with Corey Hawkins and Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Both of them are booked and busy, so obviously it couldn't have a long Broadway run. It only ran for a few months, but I had to go see it because I am at the original screenplay.
screenplay, Kenya. The original play, the original script is so damn good. And of course, when it was first on Broadway in the early 2000s, I couldn't go see it. I was a youth. But I was like, when this gets a revival, I have to go see it. And so when I found out that Yaya and Corey Hawkins were going to be in it, I literally was like, I have to see this. And so like I was running out of time. And so the day before Christmas, I was like, I'm going to New York, and I'm going to see it. It was freezing cold, but I had a blast. I feel bad if you did not see Top Dog Underdog on Broadway last year. I feel so bad for you. It was such an experience. It deserved to win Best Revival. And the thing is, the question was, because it was so short running and it's not running anymore, there was questions of if it could win Best Revival, because people often give Best Revival, they give Best Play and stuff to shows that are still running. You know, the people can go out and see it, the voters can go see it, you know. So there was a question, but it's so good. It's so brilliant. Now, Yahya Abdul-Mateen nor Corey Hawkins won Best Actor, but that's 100% I believe, because the votes were split. It's a 2-man show. Like, the whole show is a 2-man show, and I believe the votes were split, and also it's not still running. So they had a lot working against them with both of them being nominated. It's not still going, but they 100% gave the best performances, and I respect everyone's performance in the category, but they blew me away. I was not as familiar with Corey Hawkins' work before. Of course, I've seen Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Candyman, Watchmen. Watchmen, in my humble opinion, is the best limited series of all time. Mayor of Easttown is number 2. Those are like my limit. And then I love the Underground Railroad with Barry Jenkins. Like, by the way, in Kenya Has Thoughts, I ramble. You guys, I ramble. And so I was familiar with Yahya. Of course, I knew Yahya was very, very talented. He won an Emmy for Watchmen. But Corey Hawkins blew me the fuck away. Just brilliant. Their performances were brilliant. Rob Kings, you know? And it's just because the politics of it all, like, of things being where they were. But they were brilliant. Top Dog Underdog was absolutely brilliant. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I was very happy to see them win Best Revival. They earned it. I want to get into Blue Ivy Slander. So Blue Ivy, when it comes to Blue Ivy, I just don't play. When it comes to Blue Ivy, I just do not play. Not to be parasocial, but seeing Blue Ivy perform with Beyonce, I'd be lying if I said I haven't teared up. I tear up seeing her because, number one, she's a little black girl, and I just feel this duty as an adult now to protect little black girls with all my heart. I just want little black girls to be as happy and excited and protected and feel like they can do everything they want to do in this world. And so many people are going to say so many things about you, but fuck them. Tell them, like, you got this, girl. And so seeing Blue Ivy up there with the things people have said about Blue Ivy, just to be like, look at you hating from your phones, hating from your Obama phones. Like, look at you. Like, look at where Blue Ivy is. I'm just so proud of her. But let's get into the people who thought they could say something about the queen, because Beyonce, move. We got a new queen, and it is Queen Blue Ivy. Blue Ivy gave y'all time to step it up, and y'all couldn't do it, and now a new Supreme has risen. What can she say? Blue Ivy gave y'all time. So when Blue Ivy first came out, people had a lot to say. And I'm like, first of all, how pathetic do you have to be to speak on an 11-year-old? Y'all are so miserable. Do you ever see things online and the stuff people say and be like, whoa, this is coming from someone who is deeply miserable? Because, like, the saying is true, happy hoes ain't hating. Like, and to feel like you have to say something negative about an 11-year-old says where you are in life. But it's coming from people who ain't done much of shit. You stutter when you have to tell the person at the gas station to put 20 on pump 4. You are stuttering. You stutter when you have to call up to reception at the hotel to get some extra washcloths. You shaking in your goddamn boots when you have to give a presentation into political science in front of 25 goddamn people. But Blue Ivy is performing in front of 50,000 and you have something to say, and she's so fucking good. Like, to make it even better, she's so fucking good. I don't have no rhythm. I have no rhythm. Can't sing, can't dance, got no rhythm. Like, ooh, talent evaded me. But baby, Blue Ivy is boom and she is cat. And I'm just so proud of her. And you see how proud Beyonce is. And I've been a Beyonce stan. Honestly, I think I go back and forth on how long I've been a Beyonce stan. I believe it's when I saw the independent woman video for the first time. I was like, who's she? Oh, that's my girl. Or that's my girl. And then I think when it became like, oh, this is my girl for life, was the BET performance. When she performed Deja Vu at the BET Awards, I remember that moment like it was like yesterday. That moment awakened something to me. I remember I'm now older than Beyonce than she was when she did that performance. And it's so crazy because I thought Beyonce was the epitome of a grown woman during the B-Day era with the Check On It video, with the Deja Vu video. I said that woman grown. The Irreplaceable video, I said that's a grown woman. When Dreamgirls came on, I just thought Beyonce was the epitome of what a grown woman looked like in 2006, 2007. And to see that I'm older than her now and I still feel like a kid, it's just like, guess I gotta wait for my time. But I just thought, I was like, when I'm grown, I'm gonna give it up like that. So I say that to say, Blue Ivy, you deserve the world. Last topic I want to hit on is Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. Y'all need to stop worrying about their finances. And here's the thing, Gabrielle Union, I guess, offered up that information. But, like, it's one thing to, like, do a little gossip, like, ooh, who splitting bills, who paying all the bills. Like, to leave it as just, like, fun discourse, fun little gossip. Because there's one thing about me. I am not one of those people who feel like, I hate the mess. I embrace, especially at my big age, I embrace being messy. I embrace enjoying gossip. I embrace enjoying mess. But when it gets to a point where y'all are literally like, oh, I'm not splitting bills, I'm not doing this, y'all don't have Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade money. So the fact that you are calling people names over somebody else's bills, you are calling people names over somebody else's bills getting paid. Y'all gotta find some business. Y'all have to find some business. I think that the fact that this discourse has run as long as it's running, it's a lot of projecting going on, and I just think that y'all should stop. The last thing I want to leave you guys on, and this is a part of like the Jackie passing away and DC Young Fly and all of that stuff. I said this in a Kenya Has Thoughts on my Patreon. I think all of us need to do better at discussing people's bodies. I don't only think that is with people who have natural bodies. I think that is with people who have plastic surgery too, because oftentimes I see people who would never say anything negative about someone who has a natural body. They would never body shame those people, but I see those same people body shame people who have quote unquote botched surgery. And I'm just like, if you find it crazy to talk about the way someone who is natural is shaped, why do you not also find it crazy to talk about someone who has botched surgery? Because at the end of the day, it's crazy because there's a human being behind that, you know? You're talking about someone who is a human, who feels things and who has real emotion. So the reason why it's crazy to talk about people in their body is because everyone is just trying their fucking best. Everyone wakes up every day and tries their fucking best. And we're all dealing with a lot of insecurities and we're all dealing with a lot of things. And so when it's just best to not harm people, to try to not make people feel bad. And so how you can understand that with people who have quote unquote natural bodies, but you can't understand that with people who have plastic surgery, that they also have feelings. I think a lot of people believe like they're punching up. That people with plastic surgeries are like people they're punching up on, you know, like I'm getting somebody who like is higher than me, but it's not. It's just a person who is doing the best with what they got. The same way someone who hasn't had plastic surgery is doing the best with what they got. Everyone is trying to do the best with what they got. That doesn't take away the fact that I think we need to have honest conversations about plastic surgery. We need to constantly talk about the dangers of plastic surgery. We never need to normalize plastic surgery because it's so dangerous to people. That's not, you can have those conversations without picking apart people who have had surgery. I just think that is a very tacky and disgusting practice that a lot of people have started to use as just pastime, just picking apart people's bodies because they think these people are almost not human. And it's just like, stop talking about people's bodies. And it's something, and the book starts with me, you know, like I had to talk to myself about that, you know, like it's not the same way I would never talk about someone who doesn't have plastic surgery, their body. I would never do that. I shouldn't talk about someone who has plastic surgery either, because the reason why I wouldn't do it to someone who has a quote unquote natural body is because they're a human being. So why do I not feel that same way for people who have plastic surgery? Like, I feel like people treat people who have plastic surgery as less than human. It's constant jokes about buccal fat, and it's constant joke about bad BBLs and thigh to butt proportion. I'm just like, that's a human being. And they also deserve respect and decency. So we can have certain conversations, right? But we can have those conversations with taste, right? We can stop making it seem like the people who get plastic surgery are just the worst fucking people in the world and that we need to berate and bully them, you know? I just think we can all make steps towards being better people. And that starts with myself, obviously. And I think we all need to interrogate the things that we take part in, the content that we take in, and what we think is okay. And that's the end of Kenya Has Thoughts for this week. I will see you guys next week with some more thoughts. Sometimes I have a lot of thoughts. Sometimes I have a little bit of thoughts. All together, these just my thoughts. I don't know what to tell you. If you have anything you feel like I didn't touch on and you want to hear my thoughts about, or you think, bitch, you dead wrong, tell me down in the comments. It's all love. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.